Jake Paul Joshua.
Oh, Jesus. That's a fucking bad idea. That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what. A lot of people watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one. Then I think everybody's going to get what they've finally been waiting for.
I'm a little fucked up, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
The so-called problem child has finally hit the end of the road. For years, fans and critics alike questioned what would happen when a flashy YouTube experiment finally collided with a true heavyweight force. On December 19th, that question was answered in the most brutal way possible. This wasn't just a defeat, it was a bone-shattering wake-up call.
What's up, guys? The day after the fight. Got out of surgery a few hours ago. They put a plate in my jaw, wired it up. Hurts to talk, so I'm gonna keep it short. Took the L, respect to the men across from me.
This moment goes far beyond hype, trash talk, or pay-per-view numbers. What we witnessed was a harsh lesson in real knockout power. And now, UFC President Dana White has finally spoken out, delivering a reaction that is sending shockwaves throughout the entire combat.
Is the burnt bridge with my brother unfixable?
I don't hate your brother. You guys need to fight guys your fucking same size. When you fought Floyd, you are massive. He did hit you with a fucking bomb, and you fucking ate it. He's gonna fight Gervonta Davis.
Who do you got?
Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than Floyd, but he's too small. Your brother's gonna be able to get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up.
I hear your critique on fighting guys the same size as you. Is that why you guys wouldn't let me fight Conor?
Yeah, you're fucking huge. Conor weighs 145 pounds, 155 pounds.
Yeah, but he says he can beat me.
The sixth round was meant to be Jake Paul's proving ground, the moment he showed he truly belonged. Instead, it marked the official end of his bravado. At the 131 mark, Anthony Joshua delivered a perfectly timed right hand that didn't just stop the fight, it rearranged Paul's face. After evading disaster for 5 rounds and surviving 4 earlier knockdowns, Jake finally ran into a force he couldn't escape or talk his way past. As he collapsed onto the canvas, the swagger that once defined his rise vanished, replaced by the grim reality of a double mandibular fracture. This wasn't just a loss. It was a physical dismantling carried out by a man who treated the bout like light work until deciding it was...
Or Jake would have moved around the ring at 100 miles an hour. There's 2 things I would have done. Tried to shut Jake down at 100 miles an hour, or I would have gone on the back foot. So Jake decided to move around the ring, and I decided to put the pressure on. What I could have done better is a lot of things, 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that have graced us over the last 100 years, and the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron is, fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start, but as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best, and I take my hat off to him because, number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me, and Jake did. And secondly, even when he got knocked down, he kept on trying to get up, and I take my hat off to him. So America, I think you have someone who could potentially, if he still has the heart for it, come back again, dust the dirt off his shoulder, and come again and maybe sell out this center sometime in 2026. Maybe against a Gervonta Davis, a Ryan Garcia, who knows?
What followed in the hospital has been nothing short of a nightmare for the Paul camp. Doctors at Miami University Hospital worked extensively to reconstruct his jaw, ultimately installing 2 titanium plates on each side to hold the shattered bone together. The injuries were so severe that multiple teeth had to be completely removed, forcing Jake onto a liquid-only diet for the foreseeable future. X-ray images now circulating online show his jaw snapped clean in half, a grim reminder of a fight many experts insisted should never have been approved. Even through the pain, Jake's attempt at humor, joking about wanting Canelo in 10 days, comes across less as toughness and more as a desperate bid to stay relevant.
When Jake Paul lost to Fury, I haven't really paid attention to Jake Paul.
I have no.
Jake
I
Paul's-
have love for Jake too. I don't.
Wait,
I don't know when a
Jake
fight's
Paul's
happening. I
are
really
all
don't.
the same. He fights older people that are smaller. It's all the same shit.
Am I not remembering correctly? Didn't Jake ask if you could make a amends between them?
I don't think it's ready for that yet.
Well, it's not that. I don't hate Jake Paul. Jake Paul's doing his thing.
UFC CEO Dana White made no effort to hide his "I told you so" reaction when the news broke. For years, he has openly criticized the influencer boxing crossover, labeling it a circus, and this outcome served as total validation. Dana was blunt, emphasizing that there are levels in boxing that no amount of promotion or online fame can bypass. He had previously joked that viewers were only tuning in to see Jake finally get knocked out. Watching the influencer-turned-boxer head into major surgery only reinforced his belief that the matchup was an effing terrible idea from the start. In Dana's eyes, this wasn't tragic, it was inevitable.
Paul, what'd you think of the fight?
Oh, God. I think the gig is up. I'm just tired of Jake Paul as a boxer. I think he's done a fantastic job. He dressed up like Hulk Hogan. I just don't know how many more times Netflix is going to go to bat for him. But I think they will one more time because, you know, the axiom is basically if you draw money, you're going to be getting chance after chance until you're not drawing money. And then you'll still get a couple more chances after that because he did draw money. And that's kind of where he's at right now. You know, he's going to draw with Tyson. He's going to draw on this one. And so he's going to get a couple of more chances, you know, with Netflix. And they'll pay that, you know, good for him. They'll pay that money. But, man, these are, you know, this was just a bad fight. And made boxing look bad. Made boxing look bad in many ways. You know, especially it just was a circus. And the guy, you know, going for takedowns and the ref's not doing anything. I thought the ref was terrible. Thought Joshua, you know, was not good. Hurt himself, and then he even admitted it. And Jake was just out there not trying to win a boxing match. He was trying to survive and get the moral victory so he can go out there and be, you know, oh, you know, I lasted 6 rounds with Anthony Joshua. And he survived 6 rounds with him.
He survived all right.
But I
he
mean,
never quit, like somebody I know.
The size difference between the two fighters on fight night was impossible to ignore. Joshua entered the ring weighing a solid 243 pounds of pure muscle, every bit the two-time unified heavyweight champion. Paul, by comparison, looked undersized at 216 pounds. Analysts have since compared the fight to a Tom and Jerry chase, with Jake spending most of the bout clinching and retreating just to survive. The Florida State Athletic Commission is now under heavy scrutiny, with critics like Gareth A. Davies calling the sanctioning reckless. When an inexperienced fighter is placed in front of one of the most dangerous finishers on the planet, the result isn't competition.
He appeared to carry Jake Paul for a while, but told me afterwards that he could see that Jake Paul was being evasive. I spoke to him personally, and he decided just to slowly marinate Jake Paul. Obviously hit him with a huge right hand midway through the 6th round to end the bout. Broke Jake Paul's jaw. He ended up in hospital, kind of rearranged his teeth a little as well, but was very clear afterwards to give great praise to the bravery and courage of Jake Paul that everybody saw. I mean, delusionally optimistic he really is. Jake Paul should go and fight YouTubers and influencers now. I don't think this kind of bout should be sanctioned again. But Joshua, of course, now wants to fight Tyson Fury. He's called him out, and I hope we get that fight in 2026 after both of them have had warm-ups. I understand Joshua will have a warm-up fight in Riyadh late in February 2026. It's all done here. It's over. It's a one and done. I hope it doesn't happen again.
Even inside the Paul family, the mood has shifted dramatically from arrogance to damage control. Logan Paul was seen emotionally defending his brother, insisting Jake had won 4 rounds before the knockout. He praised Jake's toughness for continuing with a broken jaw. But the wider combat sports community isn't buying the bravery narrative. Voices like Daniel Cormier and Carl Froch have been brutally honest, suggesting Joshua deliberately extended the fight to entertain the Netflix audience before ending it decisively. Froch went as far as calling the event unedifying, arguing it damaged boxing's credibility more than it helped Jake's image.
Jake Paul was just on pure survival mode from round 1 right through to round 6. I don't know if he's got a moral victory going 6 rounds. Maybe he has. People might give him credit for going 6 rounds. But he got in there and just survived. He just went in there and ran like a chicken from round 1 right through to round 6 when he got splattered. And it's like, it's just, you can't really justify what he's done, because this is supposed to be a professional sanctioned boxing match, and I think it brings the integrity of the sport down when somebody like AJ, who's a 2-time world champion, can't get in there and just completely dismiss somebody like Jake Paul, who I've said for ages can't fight. He's not a professional boxer. It's just AJ following him around, touching him to the shoulder. Round 1 came and went. Round 2 was much of the same, bit slow. I think AJ got caught with an overhand right at one stage, but sometimes when you're out in the rain, you're going to get wet. He was following him around, taking his eye off the ball, probably a bit undermotivated, thinking, what's this guy doing that's in front of me? Jake Paul was just running left to right, ducking low, falling on the floor, throwing a couple of wild swings, and one did get through, but it just bounced off AJ's chin like water off a duck's back. It was nothing. And then the only reason Anthony Joshua got the fight finished, the sad thing is, I think if Jake Paul was fit enough and he had the energy and the engine, which he hasn't got, because he's not a professional athlete. He goes in the gym every day and he trains and he's fit and he trains like a pro. But that don't make you a professional fighter. What makes you a professional fighter is building yourself up through the ranking system, earning your position in the professional sport. And
looking back, the warnings from fighters like Conor McGregor now feel eerily accurate. Before the fight, McGregor publicly stated it would be an easy night for AJ and later implied Jake would be permanently changed by the experience. He wasn't wrong. Taking a clean punch from an elite heavyweight doesn't just leave a mark, it alters your body and mind. As Jake remains in a hospital bed, unable to eat solid food and facing months of recovery, the biggest question remains whether the payday was worth the permanent metal now embedded in his face.
6th round before getting his face caved in. Literally, you can see the x-rays of his jaw online. Jake did not beat the count after absorbing the right hand that broke his jaw, and AJ got the KO. Guys, let me come out and say, the story to me coming out of this fight is Jake Paul. This dude is a maniac in the best sense of the word. And I'm not going to try and hear any Jake Paul slander today on the show. Guys, nope. He got in the ring with a former Olympic gold medalist and heavyweight champion of the world who's 37, he's not 45 years old. He's still fighting, guys. Dubois knocked him out. He was in that fight with Dubois. Yeah. He was a top heavyweight. Yes. Yeah, Usyk beating him a couple times. Usyk, one of the all-time great fighters, and those were competitive fights. Yes. That Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul gave up enormous size, experience, talent, everything. And guys, let me tell you something. If all of us right now, you've been retired how many years?
10, 12,
10 years?
Like that, yes.
I don't think combined, including you, Malik, we get into the 6th round with Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua is coming to hurt you, which he was, and Jake Paul was tackling his legs. He was trying to use takedowns. He was exhausted. Yes. He was running. Yeah! Are you joking? Right. No kidding! Yes. He's trying not to get killed. Yes. And by the way, I know it was a lot like William Skull and Canelo Alvarez, where Skull was kind of outlanding Canelo upstairs, but there was nothing on the shots. But the fact is, actually, Jake Paul landed more clean punches to the head than Anthony Joshua did before the end of the fight. What he did was amazing. Yes. And guys, he also did something else by taking this fight. What Jake did was retroactively justify fighting a guy like Tank Davis, or even trying to make that fight, because what Jake is demonstrating here is, okay, everybody, you're accusing me of having to fight an ancient Mike Tyson, or a tiny Tank Davis, or an old MMA fighter. I'm really thinking about how to make a global event that people are interested in.
Online reaction has been split between harsh, I told you so takes and genuine concern for the sport's safety. Across Reddit and X, fans acknowledge Jake's heart but agree he showed his nowhere near world-class level. The Paul Joshua hashtag is flooded with clips of the final blow, with many users arguing the referee should have stopped the fight earlier. Now equipped with titanium plates, the problem child stands at a crossroads. Does he return to his natural weight class humbled? Or does he keep chasing these dangerous heavyweight challenges until the consequences become even worse?
But in the 6th round, you could just tell that this fight was over. You knew that Anthony Joshua was going to eventually land something that hurt Jake Paul. And you know how you know the boxing world wanted it to be brutal? Because Rosendo was sitting here and he goes, I hope he gets knocked out bad. He didn't want him to get TKO'd. They wanted Paul to get absolutely destroyed. And honestly, that right hand, oh my God, he took all of that right hand. You could see in his face, he was like, okay, now I understand boxing. Now I understand, like, at its worst, what boxing can be. Because he got hit clean by one of the biggest punchers, acclaimed, a lot of accolades, world champion heavyweight, and he went down and didn't get up. And honestly, I was hoping he didn't get up because it was only going to get worse. I thought Francis should have stayed down when Joshua hurt him bad. But a lot of times fighters just don't really want to give up on themselves, and that's why they get hurt worse. But it was exactly what it needed to be tonight for this fight and for this fight. It was fun. It was crazy at times with the wrestling and all the grabbing and the clenching, the referee saying the fans didn't pay for this shit, all the dirty tactics. And it ended in the way that it should.
The message from December 19th is unmistakable. You cannot fast-track your way into the heavyweight elite without paying a serious price. Anthony Joshua didn't just secure a victory, he reminded the world that boxing is about power, physics, and consequences, not followers or views. While Jake Paul may have walked away financially loaded from a massive gate, he's now learning that money can't make a liquid diet feel like success. This wasn't merely a knockout, it marked the collapse of a loud, costly experiment that left its main subject broken. Ultimately, this Miami showdown served as a warning to the influencer boxing industry. Fighting retired MMA fighters or fellow creators is one thing, but stepping into the path of a locked-in, world-class heavyweight is something else entirely. Jake Paul's harsh lesson has left him with metal in his face and a career in need of serious reflection. Was this the moment the problem child finally matured? Or simply the most expensive jaw-breaking incident ever recorded? Either way, the recent silence from the Paul camp speaks louder than any pre-fight trash talk ever did.
Big fair play to Jake Paul. Like, Jake Paul done what anyone would do if they stepped in the ring with an experienced fighter that they know they can't compete with. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if me and you was to spar, if you want to not get KO'd immediately, you don't stand in the middle and engage with me. Why would you do that?
I'll take my chances, to be fair.
Fair enough.
No,
hugging.
Make it ugly as you can.
What else are you supposed to do? You're clearly not going to defeat me if you decide to box me. So you have to use something else. That's what Jake done. He done it for as long as he could. He realized AJ's strong. I'm not going to battle with him in the clinch. I'm just going to drop to the ground. As I've said, my guy, that referee, he refereed Jake and Neeson Gibb. He knows that ref. He thought that ref would allow him. In his mind, you see when you're the A side and you ain't seen the dirty side of boxing, you think that everything and everyone around it's in your favor. He thought that referee was going to let him keep falling, pick him up, just dust off his gloves, and continue the fight. When the referee said to him, bro, stop doing that, he was thinking, oh my God, even the ref that knows me, yeah, is on me. AJ's on me, my corner's on me, the ref's on me, I'm getting tired, this guy's strong. Like, that is literally what happened. But who could blame him though? Like, I rate Jake for doing what he done tonight. Like, he lasted for as long as he could, and that was the mission.
Now we want to hear from you. Do you believe Jake Paul can bounce back from this crushing defeat? Who should he face next? Share your thoughts in the comments. That wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Drop your opinions below, stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.